Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Master Guns. This time we'll be making creme brulee. So stay tuned, because I guarantee it, once you make this one time, you're going to want to make it all the time.
You are now cooking with the Master Guns.
Alright folks, first thing we got to do is we got to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. We don't want to use convection, we want to use conventional. So make sure that you select the regular bake on your oven. The ingredients are as follows. Pretty simple. You need 12 ounces of heavy cream, 12 ounces of half and half cream, 6 ounces of sugar, 6 ounces of egg yolk at room temperature. That's why I have them sitting here in water, just for them to come up to room temperature. And 1 ounce of vanilla paste. You can use vanilla extract, but the vanilla paste gives it that much more flavor. All right, so let's go ahead and start combining our ingredients. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and boil our heavy cream and our half and half. So we're gonna let this come to a boil. We're gonna keep an eye on it, and then we're gonna let it sit for 15 minutes. While this is boiling, we're gonna go ahead and prepare our egg yolks. All right, we're gonna start by separating our egg yolks from our egg whites. I have a little egg yolk separator that I use. All right. And 6 ounces is approximately 6 eggs. We need to make sure that we keep an eye on our cream. Okay, that's 5. Okay, all right, that's 6. Let's go ahead and mix all this together now. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pour our 6 ounces of eggs in there, our egg yolks. And let's clean up some of this area. How about that? And then your egg whites, you can always use for something else, making some whipped cream or something. All right, we're gonna pour in our 6 ounces of sugar. Make sure you keep an eye on your cream, and our 1 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. Come on. There we go. And let's make sure we get all that out of there. All right. Let me wash my hands. And we're just gonna whip this until it's all well incorporated. As you can see. perfect. All right, let's check on our cream. All right, so our cream has been resting for about 15 minutes after it came to a boil. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna temper in our milk into our yolk mixture. We're gonna do that very carefully, and we're gonna be mixing at the same time very fast. We don't wanna pour everything at one time because all that's gonna do is cook the eggs, and you're gonna make scrambled eggs, and you don't want that. So we're gonna go ahead and temper it in a little bit at a time, mixing. There we go. A steady stream, but not too fast. Remember, you don't want to cook the eggs. You want to make sure everything gets incorporated. All right. There we go. The final step is going to be straining it into another bowl. And what this is going to do is, if there's any eggshells that might have fallen in while I was cracking the egg yolks and whatnot, that's going to take all those impurities out. And we're also going to take most of our foam out. There's a lot of foam on here. We don't want that. So we're going to pour that in. There we go. Use our spatula. And you can do this a couple times. I want to make sure that all of the vanilla beans are actually come through. All right. Okay, here's our mixture. Let's go ahead and clean this up and get ready for the next step. Okay, so the next step, right before we put them in the oven, is we're going to go ahead and pour our mixture in our ramekins, and then we're going to do a water bath. You can use 4-ounce or 6-ounce ramekins. These are pretty big. These are 10-ounce ramekins, so I'm not going to fill them all the way to the top, probably about maybe halfway, just so I can have enough for 6. But you can eyeball it. And then we're going to take, once we pour them in, we're going to take some of the little foam that builds up top. That's just for presentations. You can leave it. So we're going to do this. There we go. I'm going to start about halfway. And there's really no measurement when it comes to pouring them on your ramekins. You can just eyeball it. I do it this way so any overspill goes into the other ramekin. Let's see, this one here. So that right there gives me 6 ramekins, fairly about the same amount. Next, we're gonna put. So I put the ramekins in a small pan, lined by a larger pan, just for transportation purposes. So when I'm putting this in the oven, water isn't slipping off of this one. But we're going to put hot water. This is called a water bath. Just enough to cover about 1/4 of the pan. Can you guys see that? So we have this pan with water, and it's lined with this other pan, which is going to be my transportation pan. It just makes it easy for transportation. All right, so let's go ahead and put these in the oven. Like I said, our oven's been warming up at 350 for the last, I don't know, 30 minutes. So, all right, let's go ahead and put them in. Nice and easy. There we go. They're in. Now we're gonna go ahead and let them bake for about 30 to 45 minutes. Keep an eye on them. You just want them set. You don't want them completely cooked. You'll be able to tell because you'll start getting golden brown. And then a good way to check once they're done is to kind of shake them a little bit. And they should shake almost like jello. That means they're set. Then we'll go ahead and pull them out, let them rest on the counter for about 45 minutes, and then we'll put them in the fridge. All right, so we'll be back. All right, they've been in for about 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and check them. We might need to turn them. Ooh. Oh yeah, we're gonna turn them. They're setting up nicely. All right, we'll leave them in there for the remainder of the time. Our timer went off. We're gonna check them. We're gonna pull them out. Oh yeah, these are done. See if you can see. You see how they shake? Ooh, they're hot. All right, this one got a little bit too brown, but not a problem. All right, so we're gonna let them sit, and they're gonna sit for about 45 minutes to an hour at room temperature, and then we're gonna go ahead and put them in the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours. The longer the better. They can stay there overnight, but we'll get to that point once we get there. All right, we'll let them rest. All right, folks, so our creme brulee has been sitting at room temperature for about 45 minutes. As you can see how they set. They're looking nice. These ones got a little bit overcooked, but it's not gonna make a difference. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put them in the refrigerator. We're gonna let them sit for a minimum of 4 hours so they can set a little better. But like I said earlier, the longer the better. Up to 24 hours. If you want to eat them tomorrow, they'll set perfectly fine in the refrigerator. So in the refrigerator they'll go, and we'll see you tomorrow. Folks, so through the power of editing, it's the next day. Now we're gonna go ahead and burn our sugar into our creme brulee and go for a taste test. So what we're going to do is we're gonna caramelize our sugar. Now this is very simple, but it can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. You can burn yourself. For this, you're gonna need a torch. I have a Coleman torch, as you can see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a teaspoon, maybe a little less of a teaspoon, and we're going to sprinkle it all over. We want to do it as evenly as possible. And we're gonna make sure that it's all around. Then we're going to turn on our little torch and caramelize it. Thought I was out of propane, but so we're gonna caramelize it. Turning it, make sure you don't burn all in one spot. I'm almost done. All right, that's good enough. You don't want to burn it too much. You just want to caramelize it like that. Okay. We'll do the next one. Again, we're gonna make sure we spread all the sugar out. Whoa, we're almost out of propane here. Again, you just want to caramelize it. You don't want to burn it. Alright, we'll let them sit for a minute. There's one, and there's the other. Okay, we'll let those chill for a second. We'll grab our spoon and we're ready to taste test. All right, here we go. Now, you can see if you can hear that, the cracking. Ooh. Oh yeah. Delicious. I can taste the vanilla, the sugar, nice and caramelized on top. Simply delicious. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of Cooking with Master Guns. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Again, a simple recipe, creme brulee. It just takes a little bit of time, not too many ingredients. And again, if you're using one of these bad boys, just be careful. Until next time, hoorah, semper fi.